Around the world, families living in poverty face tremendous challenges. Few jobs, opportunities are scarce, and it's difficult to earn a sustainable income, especially for young people, women, and refugees. At the IKEA Foundation, we work to help families afford a better life. Together, we're changing the story of our planet for good.
Hey everyone, warm welcome to the IKEA Foundation session on livelihoods. We know there's a lot of inequality in the world. Not everyone has access to food, jobs, education, energy, or even a roof over their head. And at the IKEA Foundation, we're trying to find ways to improve that. Today, I'm happy to talk with Truus Houseman, our Chief Communication Officer. Hey Truus.
Hello everyone. I'm so happy to be here today and thank you for having me.
Very happy to have you. We're going to talk to a few of our ambassadors. We'll get some questions from them. We're going to get some answers from some partners and friends who know us really well. And hopefully we'll be able to help people understand a little bit more about the work that the IKEA Foundation does around livelihoods.
Wonderful. Yeah, and livelihoods, of course, is such a critical part of what we're doing. Like IKEA, we aim towards creating a better everyday life for the many. And we know that for many people, this is not a given. People living in some of the most vulnerable parts of the world have, as you said earlier in your introduction, have to fight every day for making it the day and provide a good opportunities for the children. And we also know that livelihoods are impacted by the climate. We already see the impact of climate change happening. We see it happening on people in some of the most disaster-prone parts of the world. We also know that our activities, of course, have an impact on climate. So working on livelihoods is key for better livelihoods on a livable planet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing to see how interlinked the two are, climate change and livelihoods, which I think speaks very much to the reason that we at the IKEA Foundation focus on those two major pillars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really good. Great. Well, I think that the first thing we should do is take a question from one of our ambassadors. Should we do that?
Yes, let's do that. Great. Very curious.
There's poverty everywhere. How do you choose who and where to help?
That's a really good question. We know that we can't be everything for everyone, and though we are gifted with considerable resources, we do have to be careful about how we use them. I think that we have the perfect person to answer this. Our CEO, Per Hegnes, is of course an expert in this and can give us a little bit more context. Let's go to Per.
That's correct. The needs are enormous and the foundation can't be everywhere for everyone. So we have to make tough choices. And we try to make choices based on where we think that the foundations can have the most impact. And therefore we can get the best social return from the dollars that we invest. So a few years ago when Ingvar shared his thoughts about where the foundation should focus its activities, he was very clear that we should work with the most vulnerable communities, the people who had the least and needed the help the most. So that's why we have focused on trying to spend most of our investments in the southern part of the world, where we believe that there are more children living in vulnerability than in other parts of the world.
Thanks, Per. Really good to help us understand how the IKEA Foundation looks at this. Truus, should we take another question?
Yes, I think that is very good.
Let's do it.
What is the most important thing that you can do to help people out of poverty?
Wow, that's a really good question, and I'm not sure that there is a super easy answer to that, but I think it would be good to ask one of our partners. What do you think, Truus?
Yes, this is a super important question, and we have a partner called GAME, Global Alliance for Mass Employment, and Ravi Venkatesan, the founder of this organization, CEO of this organization, has gained some deep insights in that. So I think it would be really useful to hear more about what he has to say to this question.
Let's ask Ravi.
Yeah.
Now, there's a famous saying that says, every system is perfectly designed to produce the outcomes it does. And so if you don't like the results or outcomes, then you have to go back and fix the system, which means you have to go redesign it, which is not easy. because usually it requires actors from across private sector, public sector, social sector to come together in mission mode and collaborate, overcoming their different perspectives and priorities and objectives. And that requires real leadership. And the problem in the world today is the actors who are within the system seem unable to provide it, which is why we need leaders from outside, which is why many more of us have to step in and provide leadership that's required. We have to be the change we wish to see in the world. And we can't do this casually. For this, we have to be intense. The Buddha has a saying which I like a lot, where he says, if you want liberation or nirvana, then you have to seek it with the same intensity with which a man whose hair is on fire searches for water. So if we want to help people out of poverty, we need to start caring and working intensely. Everything else is just talk and spare change. Thank you.
I think those are some really good insights, and they help us understand this a little bit better. Truus, any extra thoughts?
Well, what I love about the approach Ravi is taking with GAME is to really look at all those young entrepreneurs who are really eager to get going as an opportunity to together create a better world. So a lot of kudos to Ravi and GAME.
Absolutely, really looking at how we can lift people out of poverty and increase livelihoods.
Exactly. And I think one of the other key takeouts is about creating the right environment to do this together with other organizations. And of course, a key element to this as well is to have access to, for example, energy.
Yep.
And as we often say, access to energy is important, but to create a really sustainable future, access to renewable energy is crucial.
Absolutely, and I think that's a really good bridge to our next question. Let's go back to our ambassadors and hear what they have to say.
How does it make a difference for people to have access to renewable energy?
Well, as you said, Truus, that's a really good question, and I think we have the perfect partner to answer that. It's someone we've been working with for quite a while. They do some really amazing work in India around renewable energy. I think you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, it's not difficult to guess that. I think you might be talking about the Selco Foundation.
I'm talking about the
Am I
Selco
right?
Foundation, absolutely. Let's go hear what they have to say.
The benefits of renewable energy to the poor are immense. There are multifold, in fact. One is it brings in numerous options for them to increase their livelihoods, thus getting them out of poverty. Number two, it increases the sense of innovation. What else can actually be done by solar power for other diversification that they would like to do. Number three, it increases the sense of reliability and independence. It empowers them. They don't need to depend on anybody else for electricity. And number four is it pushes efficiency for different livelihood applications that then makes gender a play because of renewable energy as a catalyst. And the most beautiful part is, without mentioning the word climate, all these options will show that the poor will actually show to the rich how climate resilient solutions are practical today in this world. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I think those are really great insights again, and really help us understand how Selco Foundation is working in this area, and also how the IKEA Foundation takes a look at this, because Selco is very aligned with the work that we're doing. Now, of course, renewable energy helps improve livelihoods in many different situations, and actually over the years we've looked at this for different target groups, for different people, one of them being refugees, which I think we've had quite an impact on as well.
Yeah, people who are displaced, forcibly displaced because either man-made or a natural disaster is happening, are so vulnerable, and they need a little help to be able to pick up their lives again and take care of their families. They're people like you and me, and imagine if you had to leave your home from one moment to the other. Actually, last year we heard the story of Aya, and she spoke about this and what that meant for her family. So it's critical to be able, in order to integrate in your host community, to be able to develop new livelihood opportunities, to find a new source of income, and of course access to renewable energy and other areas, it's critical to do that. And that is why we, as the IKEA Foundation, have focused on this for many years and have started to develop initiatives with our partners, often long-standing partners, and develop some, I think, expertise which we are trying to share with the broader development and humanitarian community as well. Lots of things that work, but also learnings of where we could do things differently, better, but certainly worthwhile to share, and that's why it's so important to hear from our partners as well.
Absolutely, and I think just as we said earlier, it's amazing how everything really links together. The next question that we have is from another one of our ambassadors, and it actually talks about the area that we were just referencing, and the area that we've probably been working in for the longest and are best known for, which is refugees. Let's go hear what they have to say.
You are working a lot with refugees. How are you working with them?
Really good question. And again, not one single answer, but I think that we can ask our partner who we have been working with for quite a while, UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, to give us a little bit of information on this.
Very curious and very eager to hear their answer.
At UNHCR, we protect people, men, women, and children who have been forced to flee their homes due to conflict and persecution. We deliver life-saving assistance and help safeguard fundamental human rights. And together with our partners, such as IKEA Foundation, we develop lasting solutions that ensure people forced to flee have a safe place to call home. With more than 100 million people forced to flee, our mission is more important than ever before.
Really great to hear from UNHCR on this. And of course, this is just scratching the surface on the work that we've done with refugees over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. And our relationship and our work with UNHCR stretches out for many years, more than a decade now. And also what has become clear is that we not only talk about refugees in refugee camps, but many refugees are actually in cities or in rural communities. So working on integrating refugees in their host communities in both settings is critical for their livelihood development. So in the area of agricultural livelihoods, we have over the years gained some insights with our partners around improving livelihoods for small-scale farmers. Now, this work is critical for refugees as well, so that they, with farmers in the local community together, can work on a better future for themselves and their children.
Yeah, there's so many elements that connect here through our livelihoods work that we do, which is, again, really interesting to see. Great. Well, as we said, we've just scratched the surface on the work that we're doing towards livelihoods to try and create that better everyday life for the many people. And I think it's really interesting to look at these different areas. I know on our website we have a lot more information, so definitely encourage people to check out a little bit more there.
And follow us on our social media
channels. And follow us on our social media, absolutely. We're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Twitter, absolutely. We're not on TikTok yet, but
who knows?
Maybe one day we'll look at TikTok. But for now, why don't we take a little look at some of the videos that we've been working on that show a little bit about more how we're changing the story of our planet for good.
Let's do that.
My mum is really passionate about stopping climate change. She works for an organisation called We Mean Business. They help really big companies to have less of a carbon footprint and work together to make the world a better place.
Together with our partners, we improve the lives and livelihoods of many people all around the world, especially children and families affected by poverty and climate. And we have been able to help millions, thanks to the work you do every day.
We've had kids that have been abandoned. We've had kids that they travel with people that they don't know. So we need to help these kids.
I hope life will be that we have clean and renewable energy so that people can go out to parks and children can go out and play.
Always super inspiring to see, in reality, the work that our partners are doing and some of the great stories that we're telling throughout IKEA Foundation Week. Truus, thanks so much for joining us today. It was really good to get a little bit of insight into the work that the IKEA Foundation is doing around livelihoods. I think it helps to demonstrate again how interconnected everything is.
Totally. We cannot work on climate without working on livelihoods.
No.
And that's becoming very clear. Improving people's livelihoods in their communities will enable them to not only cope with already the impact we and so many people feel every day, but also critically enables them to make a contribution to a better planet and stop the climate from warming up beyond the 1.5 degrees.
Absolutely. It's super important that we look at both of these things together, not just one in isolation.
No, and let's not forget that if this planet warms beyond 1.5 degrees, it's very hard to imagine how to create a better future for us all, leave alone for our children.
Absolutely. We're all so impacted by this. So you've heard a little bit from our partners, you've heard from our ambassadors and some of our friends. What, if I were to ask you for 3 takeaways, any idea what you would take away from today?
Well, first of all, I think indeed the interconnectedness, as we talked about, livelihoods and the planet. And that's why it is so important that we work with our partners on both of the areas we're focusing on, and so many of our partners are actually doing that. In agricultural livelihoods, if we work on regenerative agriculture, we help regenerating the planet. But very critically, we also enable small-scale farmers to develop a better livelihood for themselves and their families. Yeah. So very, very important. And secondly, well, we've heard from some of our partners, only a few of our partners, and so it shows already a little bit of diversity amongst our partners. We work with some big organizations, UNHCR, but we also work with many organizations who have deep roots in the communities they work in and the people they serve. And what they bring, and that's crucially important, is a deep understanding of what people in these communities are worried about, but also what they're working on and the solutions they're developing. Yeah. And it's so inspiring to hear those solutions, and it gives me a lot of hope that together with our partners, with those communities, with the many people, we can actually co-create solutions to some of the big challenges and some of the deeply rooted problems we're currently facing. And that's very, very inspiring to me. And I hope to the many people and co-workers listening to this episode as well.
And of course, that brings us to the many co-workers, without who none of this is possible.
Absolutely. And it's just thank you to the many co-workers for the everyday work and the hard work they're doing. That our partners and the IKEA Foundation can work towards its mission and enable better livelihoods for the many families and children every day. So many millions of people we are able to improve livelihoods, and so big thank you to everyone.
Absolutely. With that, I think we're going to wrap things up. So big thanks again to Truus, to our partners, to our friends, to the ambassadors who have joined us. I appreciate you taking the time. We have 2 other episodes in case you haven't seen it yet, so be sure to check those out. We're talking about climate, and we're talking about a little bit more about the work that the IKEA Foundation does as a whole. So really encourage you to join us for those episodes if you haven't seen them. And of course, go on our website, as Truus said, social media, follow us to learn more, and especially learn more about the work of our partners.
Absolutely. So stay tuned.
Thanks, everyone. If you're curious to know more about the IKEA Foundation, that's what IKEA Foundation Week is for. We have these 5 wonderful stories that we've introduced, and we have these 3 stories that we're telling you during the week focused on climate change, livelihoods, and the IKEA Foundation as a whole. So be sure to check out all 3 episodes this week.